Hello, everybody. Welcome to June Soul. We are going to talk all things shadow. I am considered a shadow dancer. I love to work in the shadow. I like to help people work in their shadow because your shadow is what saves you. It's what teaches you all the parts and pieces and why you should love the shit out of yourself. So welcome to Soul. We're going to create containers. So go ahead and just take a deep breath. If you are not familiar with what a sacred container is, it is an energetic frequency vortex that I put around the entire space, no matter where you're at, so that you can ground your frequency. So it's a safe space to do shadow work so that you can learn this. Especially working in the shadow, we want to make sure that we are grounded and protected. And it's very important when you do shadow work to also create a sacred container and clear any and all frequencies off of you. So I'm going to use a little device called a road opener. If you've done any of my mindset frequency 30-minute sessions, you know I play with these. They're a lot of fun. They work energy super quick. So we're going to go ahead and use the road opener. I'm going to put it in my left hand. Go ahead and take a deep breath with me. I'm going to go ahead and ground the frequency. I'm going to bring you all the way down past the gravel, past your whatever your feet are on right now. We're going to go ahead and move. Mine are on cement. So we're going to go ahead and move through the cement. Energetically, we're going to spread out our feet. We're going to go past the bedrock. We're going to continue to go down further until you kind of feel a thump. And if you don't feel a thump, I'm going to tell you when you hit a thump. There we go. And we're going to snap that in. This is called your Earth star. This is the frequency of Gaia. We're going to connect you into this frequency of Gaia, which, if you don't know what Gaia is, this is a Mother Earth. Go ahead and snap you in just like a little snap. There we go. We're going to go ahead and ground that frequency. Take a deep breath with me. Road opener, go ahead and create a energetic frequency, clearing and removing any density, entities, AI technology, spyware out of this frequency within a 5-mile radius. We also bring in Saint Germain at this time to clear and close all portals. We also ask at this time Archangel Gloria to seal us in a white light and to remove any and all density, any shadow energy out of this space for this time, space, dimension. We also ask for your ancestors to remove and unplug from any and all cords. Ooh, that's a lot of energy. It is completely normal to feel lightheaded during this time when we start to clear frequencies because you're going to remove. So at this time, we ask the emotional body to go ahead and give us any form of sign physically with a yawn, burp, sneeze, or a sigh. Go ahead and just sit for a second while we finish clearing this frequency. Good. Road opener, go ahead and open any and all bio and genetic systems at this time. We also open up meridians. We also open the lymphatic system, draining that to clear any toxins physically out of our physicality body. We do this now. Go ahead and show us when you are completed with a yawn, burp, or a sneeze, or a sigh. Thank you, emotional body, for showing us that. Thank you, road opener, for assisting in that. We also ask the road opener to open up any doorways to a new timeline of higher frequency, a higher dimension, a higher space. We ask to be brought into that space, time, space, and dimension. We also ask for us to bring any galactic beings that would like to assist us in a loving and harmonious space at this time. We also invite you into this space as well. We also invite any guides, ancestors into this time, space, and dimension as well to assist us in this healing. We also call back any fractal parts, pieces back into this time, space, and dimension, into our fractal pieces of this time, space, and dimension. We go ahead and open up our pineal gland at this time. We also remove any decalcification in our frequency in our third eye. We also connect all the way up into source, into our galactic star family, connecting with us into the highest frequency that we are sitting at. We set this container, and so it is. How's everyone feeling? Was that crazy?
Oh. I know. As soon as I opened my eyes, it was like,
It's like
yeah.
Good. That's great. Yeah, we just cleared frequency. All right, so that is the glimpse of what I always start out with my 30-minute mindset set sessions. They're 30 minutes. They're very powerful. We clear frequencies, we clear energetic frequencies. And I also continue with that process, but that's just a glimpse of what I did. That was 5 minutes, and think about how clear and light you feel in 5 minutes. So frequency moves very quickly. I wanted to remind everybody that you are the creator and the designer of your reality. And so everything is a frequency. So everything is a frequency. This paper, everything is just frequency. You decide how quickly that shift. And I move frequency super fast. I move super fast. That's just how I work. I do shadow work super fast. I heal super fast. I upgrade super fast. And when you play in my world, that's what you're going to get. You're going to move, shift quickly. And it's fun. It's so much fun. So let's go ahead and get started. Wow, hello B. Thank you for your community, but we are going to go ahead and not ask you to come back. All right. If anybody wants, I have some Palo Santo spray. You just kind of spray it on. I'm going to put some on just because we are going to work in the shadow today. And then Trish, do you want to get the alchemy out? I brought, I think it's called Magic. Oh, peace on earth. I love it. So if you are not aware, I love bringing Luna Lush into, this is Peace on Earth. I love this energy. I just really like the color that it shows, like the root chakra color. So that's why I brought it, since we are going to work in the frequency of shadow. Yep. I don't know. In December. All right. If you have selenite, so this is a really great way to start out clearing any frequency off of you. If you don't have a road opener, or you're not really sure how to clear your frequency, I do have a daily clearing on my website. You can use your $30 coupon towards. It's a really powerful 10-minute clearing that you can do these parts and pieces with you. So if you don't, you can take selenite and go ahead and clear your frequency. And I say, I clear and cut all cords that do not work with my highest and greatest good. And I clear those frequencies. Just go ahead and clear your field. We just want to make sure before we dive into shadow work that our frequency is very clean, very clear. If you don't have selenite, you can also use the frequency of selenite, bring it into your frequency. Go ahead and imagine a beautiful plate at the bottom of your feet. Take a deep breath and just ask the selenite to clear your frequency. We just want to make sure the clearing energetic frequency is very grounded, very brought in. It's yummy. It's cinnamony, which is perfect for the first day of June. So today is June 1st. If you have not, blow cinnamon into your home and activate manifestation of abundance. And then, so literally blow cinnamon in, and then say 5 things that you're grateful for, and then what you want to call in. So always start your manifestations with gratitude. All right, here we go. Everyone good? Okay, so first of all, shadow work. What I've seen a lot in the spiritual community, and this is why I don't fit into the spiritual community, because I think people need to really work into their shadow, is I see a lot of practitioners who are, or people who work in the spiritual community that have not done their shadow work. So they're easily triggered. I see a lot of it, especially in our community. Unfortunately, I see it a lot of, women's with the witch wound, very competitive, very much like, I don't trust so-and-so, and there's a lot of bickering. So if you know me, I just stay out of all of that bullshit and I do my own thing. And the reason I do that is because I feel like that when we're called to work with people, we'll be called to work with people. And so I think the biggest lesson that soul can teach anybody is that community never brings in competition. You always root for the other team, and you share and like and enjoy people's company. And if someone you don't like in the community triggers you or makes you upset or whatever, that's a shadow piece in yourself. So the best way to figure out what your shadows are is start to notice when someone makes you mad. Okay? Notice when someone pisses you off. Notice when rage comes in, or notice when you have an emotional reaction to something somebody does or says, okay? Because when you hold a frequency with people, they will, when you have done your shadow work, your frequency shifts and you hold a frequency that people are like, yeah, I'm not going to mess with her. Does that make sense? Because you hold a frequency. When you don't hold a frequency, that's when people are going to push through the boundaries or they're just completely oblivious. But even that, you can still say, boundaries are not created to prevent you from being triggered. I just want to say that. Can we just get that out the door? Like, boundaries are not created so that you don't become triggered. Boundaries are created so you feel safe. That's what they are always for. It is a security to feel safe within what is best for you. So I have boundaries that I say with my children, that is safety and structure and things like that, right? And so boundaries are not a prevention of being triggered. And I think that is a misconception that a lot of people think, like, well, they made me upset because they said that. If you have done your shadow work and someone speaks their truth, it should not trigger you. Okay? Even if someone has not done their shadow work and they can be receptive to receive what someone is saying to them, we're able to work, like, you should be consciously aware of that. So there's a few, there's obviously lots of shadow, because whenever you feel triggered by something, you can root it back. So I'm going to teach you my process of how I do my shadow work. This is recorded, so you can rewatch it. And if you don't have a notepad, you can write it down later. But the first one is the wound of abandonment. And abandonment is often that you feel left out. You have the fear of being left out. You have the fear of not being invited. You have the fear of missing out. You hate to be alone, and you're very codependent. Voltron, is there anything else you want to share with us about the abandonment wound? Abandonment brings in a lot of attachments of expectations of others. That's also an abandonment wound, is what he's telling me. Ancient truth, go ahead and share with me any more wisdom about the abandonment wound. Abandonment wound doesn't necessarily mean that your parents did a bad job. Ooh, that's pretty good, actually. The other thing they're saying is it doesn't necessarily mean that you were left home alone. That's often the association, is that you're left home alone and that's why you had the abandonment. My abandonment wound came from my parents happened to work and I was sick and left in a hospital bed by myself at 2 years old. Okay, my 2-year-old self did not cognitively understand why my parents left me. But as an adult, I completely comprehend, but I can't disregard my 2-year-old self. Okay, so when I looked at my 2-year-old self and I said, hey, mind, go ahead and take me to my 2-year-old self when I felt abandoned. And I see myself sitting in a hospital bed. There's like rails and stuff, and there I'm hooked up. I have pneumonia, I'm coughing, I can't hardly breathe, right? There's all this energy of people. I don't know what's going on. I'm very unaware. I still have to go back to that version of myself and tell her, I'm so sorry that you were left there alone. I'm so sorry that you were left alone. I'm so sorry you were left alone, and validate why she felt alone. Why did she feel like her parents had abandoned her? It doesn't actually have anything to do with my parents. And I want to emphasize, your shadow work doesn't have anything to do with someone else's actions. It's what you felt. It's how you felt. It's the reaction or the response to the situation. They're just a character. My soul wanted to learn what it felt like to be abandoned. What was the lesson in that? Okay. So what did that make me as a person? That made me very, very independent. I'm a very independent person. My husband works on the road, and I manage a lot of things. I can keep a high load. I can do a lot of things, right? And you can come from a trauma response, which I used to come from a trauma response of hyper diligence. Okay, that can also look like an abandonment wound, where you're hyper diligently making sure everything, your T's are crossed, your I's, because you're in that fear, right, of not being enough. Okay, fear of someone might leave you. Okay, even though technically no one left, right? It was just my parents working. They didn't make a lot of money, so they had to work. But it still doesn't justify how I felt. Does that make sense? Like my 2-year-old self doesn't give a shit my parents had to work. Okay. So I had to sit with my 2-year-old self, which I asked her to come in. So what I often do is, and we'll go through the whole process, but I had to sit with her about it. Right? In a meditative state, this cannot be done in a cognitive state. Shadow work cannot just be done. I mean, you could journal it. You could definitely journal it and write it out if you don't like to meditate. That's a really great way. We'll go through the ways of doing shadow work. But for me, I like to sit on my bed and ask my inner child to come in, that 2-year-old self to come in and have a conversation with me and just tell me what she felt. And you don't have to be a channeler. Like, it's really not hard to just sit with yourself and just say, what did you want to tell me? And it could be just simple, like, I didn't want to be alone. And think about it. Children don't have in-depth conversations, right? Like, they're going to be like, my mom and dad left me, right? It's going to be very straightforward. It's going to be very to the point, okay? The point of it is that when you start to work with your inner child, I want to remind every single one that your inner child is a teacher. She is not wounded, or he is not wounded. There's no such thing as a wounded inner child. It is a teacher. It is just a version of you that's here to teach you about yourself. Children are not wounded. I don't believe that.
You know, what's an interesting thing is I often get confirmations from my 10-year-old self all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime I get those confirmations of 10-year-old Kylie would be so stoked right now.
Mm-hmm.
It, like, my body energetically feels so light.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, those are like things I think about, like, when my 10-year-old self be stoked about the woman I grew up to be.
Damn right she would be.
Yeah. So like it's so cool though, like how many people connect with different aspects of like ages and developmental stages.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To like channel like confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
And to and you know, I think too, like it's so much easier to channel that because it's within yourself.
Yeah.
It's your DNA.
Yeah. Well, and it's a memory. It's a very close cognitive memory.
Like everything is the body keeps completely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Yep. So the next one is guilt. So the guilt wound is you often say you're sorry. So I'm sorry. In fact, I was at a flower shop yesterday and the girl goes, I'm so sorry I was in your way. And I was like, huh? Why are you sorry you were in my way? And she was like, oh, I don't know. I just say that a lot. And I was like, you ever tried not saying sorry? You know, just like to make people think, right? Think outside the box. But you feel sorry or you feel bad for like choosing yourself. Okay. You hate to ask for help. You're afraid to set up boundaries and you attract people who use you. That's the guilt wound. The trust wound is afraid to commit. You often have a feeling of hurt. So if people don't show up for something or they change their plans, well, it's not because they actually changed their plans. You create a story in your mind of why they didn't show up. And it's because, well, you know, they don't like me or I can't trust them or, you know, so that you create a story. You feel, and honestly, some people may just not show up. Like that's just, you have to realize that everybody has, people do what's best for them sometimes. And sometimes it doesn't feel good and it sucks because I know what that feels like. But it's important to understand that when we allow people to have their organic flow and let people do their own thing and realize that people get choices. This is across the board, by the way. I was talking to a client today, voice noting her back and forth, and I said, she was talking about a situation and she was like, I just don't understand why my mom would even say that. That's so hurtful. And I said, I don't think it was cognitive. I don't think she purposely was like, oh, I'm going to actually hurt your feelings today. Like, think about that. When people do something that's hurtful and they break your trust, was it done maliciously? Okay. because sometimes it's not. Like, that's how I always judge something, is like, and I don't want to like to use the word judge, but that's how I usually like base my was that done to specifically hurt me? Okay. And if someone does specifically hurt me, then that's not my person, right? That's not somebody I want to be around. I don't want to be around that person that breaks my trust. Okay. Finds ways to not trust people. So like you create stories, right? This is all creating the illusion, right? The mind, the wicked scientist in your mind, creating some type of a story. You're really insecure about who you are. So you chameleonize yourself. So you, depending on who you're around, you change yourself of who you're around. So for example, would be like, I've been on so many calls in different groups who are literally creating spiritual businesses. They're like what I do. And they're like, but I can't post what I'm selling, or I can't post my light language on my personal page because my grandma will think I'm nuts. And I'm like, well, then you're not really being authentic with yourself, because I don't give a shit. My brother called me. My brother called me 2 weeks ago, and he was like, what's the gibberish you're speaking on your page? And I said, oh, it's called light language. What the f is that? And I said, light language is the language of light. Why? And he goes, well, you're like, I'm thinking you're a little bit off your rocker. And I said to him, I don't give a flying what you think or have an opinion about what I do. If you don't like what I post on the page, there's a button called unfollow and scroll on.
Yes, I love it. It's so true, though. You know,
it's
like,
true. My mom called me.
Guess what? You're the person that is controlling your reality.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, you don't have to see it.
No. Yeah, there's a button called
don't make
unfollow.
It my problem. That's like a projection, like to the
E. Yeah. I'm like, you can go ahead and just push the unfollow. He goes, well, I didn't mean to offend you. I said, oh, you didn't offend me, but I think I offended you.
I love it.
And he even called my mom. He's like, I think I pissed Michelle off today. And my mom called me. She's like, did George piss you off today? And I was like, no, not at all. Why? I said, I'll tell you the same thing. I don't care who supports me, because the people who support me are my husband, my best friend, and people who love me. And I don't need anybody to tell me whether they support me or not. You can click that unfollow button. And my mom's like, okay.
Yeah.
Hello, ladies.
Apologize for the lateness.
It's all right.
Macy.
Hi, Macy.
She flew all the way from Tennessee to be here tonight.
I love that so much. Hey, I've had people fly from Texas, so yes. Thank you for coming. We're doing shadow work today. So I've already grounded the frequency. Use the road opener to open up our frequencies. So these are ancient. I'm going to pause this for a second. Let's see. Okay, so the next one would be lots of external validation. So I like to use this one kind of lightly. And the reason is when you first start to channel, you kind of need to have physical evidence that you are channeling what is right? So a lot of times when I work with channeling, I use the physical, emotional body to give me validation. So even with this opening, I had you all yawn, burp, sneeze, or sigh to tell me if the body physically was feeling those emotions. Like, it tells me, that's why I do that, because then it gives me that external validation without having to be like, hey guys, did this actually work, right? And it also gives you validation. So there's ways to play with spirit to get that external validation, and to not have to be like, hey, do you think I'm right? Like, I love when people say that. They're like, do you think I'm right? And I'm like, what is right serving you, right? Like, what is that giving you? Okay. So, but it's good to check in and ask the emotional body to give you validation. Okay. So, and I think when people are first channeling, that's really important too. The next one would be neglect. Struggles to let things go, low self-worth. Your emotion go-to is rage or anger. This was mine. This was me. This was me in my awakening. Neglect was a huge one for me. Struggles to say no. You repress your emotions. So you're afraid to cry in front of people. You don't like to show emotion in front of people. Fear of vulnerability. Attracts unsafe people. So notice that every single one of these wounds, you're attracting something into your reality that you are feeling. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So neglect attracts people that feel unsafe because you were neglected. Trust, you have to have lots of external validation, and you also usually probably attract partners who are not honest. Guilt attracts people who use them, right? Every single one of these shadows, you're going to have characters in your story that are going to play that character out for you every time. And as soon as you know that you've healed your shadow, it's when those people just start, like, I always tell people, they're like, are you going to cut that person out? And I was like, oh no, Spirit will do it for me.
It's
every
so
time.
True. It's so true. The energetic. And if you call upon it.
Oh yeah. I'll just say, I'm done with that person. Spirit, you go ahead and cut them out of my frequency. And it's crazy. They won't call again. Yeah. Every time it works like a charm. Thanks, Spirit. Okay. And then, so attracts unsafe people. So neglect can also, I feel like neglect also falls under the trauma of like sexual abuse, infidelity in the, like, you know, someone touching you inappropriately, sexual harassment. I think it falls under the same energetic frequency when I've channeled it. Neglect is definitely, because it's someone doing something physically to you that you feel unsafe. Does that make sense? It would also under trust as well. So when I do hypnosis, if someone's had trauma such as sexual abuse, I usually go straight to the root, which would be the actual event, and we clear the event out. And then we can usually go through generational. So when I cleared out, when I was sexually abused as a child, I saw my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and great-great-grandmother all had been raped. I've never been raped, but I had the frequency of it. And I had a lot of the same tendencies of like not trusting men, very, very conscious of that, right? And so I cleared that out generationally. So I want to remind you that there's also shadow aspects of yourself, but you've also inherited shadow aspects of yourself. So there's generational stuff. There's past life stuff as well. So you can go through and you may have had neglect issues in this lifetime, but not as severe as maybe 2 lifetimes ago when maybe you were left, or I've even had someone in a past life where their husband left for war and they felt neglected. Okay. And that's been rebuilt into, they're like, my husband's a great guy. Like, I just feel like he's always going to leave. I don't know where this came from. That's a wound of neglect, even though it's never showed up in your reality. This time it can show up in past life incarnations. Okay. Any questions? Those are the lovely dark shadows aspects of people. So you probably can relate to at least one or more. I had all 4. I don't feel like I have a lot of these anymore. Obviously there's always like that next level. I always tell people, it's like when you take a level of shadow work, then you play the next level in Spirit's like, hey, did you really learn this lesson? Let me show you if you really learned this lesson. Okay.
It loops back around.
It like loops back around and you're like, I haven't had that happen in a long time. Where'd that come from? No emotional response. Score. Right? Yeah, you're like, where's the response in my body? There wasn't one. Right. Well, that's what I loved about hypnosis. Like the first time someone did something to me and I cleared it out in hypnotherapy and it came back around and I was like,
dude, you changed my life.
Are you a human? Like, there was no response. Like, it was so good.
Have trauma, man. Like, for me, it was so effective. It was so effective.
Yeah, it's like plant medicine. It's very, very effective.
That energy frequency of like ayahuasca, but with safety too, because like, I mean, I've went and done ayahuasca in the facility, like there was some, right? Yeah. You can feel it. There's some icky shit.
Yeah, parasites. Go make sure you do a parasite cleanse after you've done ayahuasca. Okay. Please and thank you.
What are the 4 again? Abandonment, neglect.
Yeah. So abandonment, guilt, trust, and neglect. The guilt 4. Yep. And you can a lot of your shadow stuff, you will go back to like ages as a child. Okay. And I don't believe an inner child is wounded. I don't believe children are wounded. I believe inner child is your teacher. So your inner child is actually your soul, and your shadow, which is like your triggers, is your higher self incognito. So your higher self is like, let me show your soul what you want to learn. Does that make sense? So your soul is very playful, like a child. Your inner child should be playful. And then when you look at that aspect of your inner child, or that moment in time of that child having those emotions and those feelings, it's not that they were wounded, they were just unaware of what was going on. So I don't believe an inner child is wounded, personally. That's my own channel.
I agree. Absolutely. Because it's the kids are not wounded. Things happen and they have such impactful emotions. And so you just have to communicate and let yourself process them with the maturity of the being an adult now.
So what happens is the child experiences a traumatic event. Then the subconscious comes in and the ego comes in. The ego starts to play out that system of neglect. And the subconscious is like, we're going to keep you safe in this nice, beautiful loop and make you feel not traumatized by your experience. Doesn't this feel great? And you're like, no, it doesn't.
Absolutely.
It's like that uncomfortability, right? So I really don't think the inner child is wounded. It's your subconscious creating that story. And then the ego plays that out. So I always explain it. Your subconscious is the video taper, right? It's videoing everything, and it's like hypergel. Here, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this, and it's creating. It's the director, right? And your ego is the VCR tape playing out. It's the relay system. It's playing out what you're experiencing. So people are like, the ego is the hero, villain, and victim, right? But it goes deeper than that. The ego is the relay system that you told it to play. So you can recode your ego by simply rewriting the story. So a simple way to do that, which we've done on Soul before, but since there's new people here, so I just say, hey, ego, tell me the story that I've created about love. Okay, write it all out. Okay. Oh, love is earned, which this was mine once upon a time. Love is earned. I have to work for it. I have to show up. I have to do wife duties. By the way, this is not what my husband thinks, but this is what I had created in my fucked up mind. And, all these things about how I show love. Love is physical. If I don't show physicality, then I'm not really loving somebody, right? Very, very different. So then I say, hey, ego, and dump all files that I told you to run on love. Okay. And I sit there and I say, hey, body, emotional body, please tell me I'm done with a burp, yawn, sneeze, or a yawn sigh. Okay. Yeah. So then
you ask confirmation like that every time you
ask your question? I do. Yeah. If I'm going to work with something in the subconscious, if I'm not in a hypnotherapy session, and putting myself in a trance, because I'm aware, I'm not in trance. So I have to get confirmation that the physical, so I call him Adobe. He's my recoder that works in the subconscious. And when I don't have someone in trance, I need to have confirmation that it's done, because some people's energy takes 5 minutes for their ego to dump. Okay. And then some people's, like mine's, like 2 seconds and I'm done. Right. So it just depends. I can feel it, but maybe you can't. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So it gives validation for someone who is, I get a lot of people that come to me that are depressed, hate their lives, are at the rock bottom, and they're like, this is my last hope. You are my last hope. Okay. And I need to give them something to validate that they're not fucking crazy.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Are you talking?
No, I'm not. You. No, you are not alone in this situation. And I'm going to tell you, you are not alone. So I always do that with the ego. And then I say, and then I rewrite that code. So then I write, love is shown with beauty and softness and empathy and compassion and understanding, right? Like really dive deep into what do you want love to be shown to you in your reality. And then I say, hey, ego, go ahead and, how do I say this? Ego, go ahead and start to create this in my system. Go ahead and, show me that you have downloaded these files. And when I get my confirmation, then I say, now ego, please run this system and show this in my physical reality right now. And you programmed it. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how I work with the ego
Love that.
in a very fast, quick way. It's a little more in depth than that, but yeah, that's a quick way to do it. And so I think personally in my own belief system, and everything with soul, please take what resonates and delete whatever doesn't. I feel like the subconscious is what creates the belief systems and what creates the wounds within inside of us. And it doesn't actually have anything to do with the inner child. The inner child is your soul. Your soul's not wounded. Your soul is pure. It's a pure consciousness of God is your soul.
So like a childhood trauma, that's not a wound, that's a what?
Childhood trauma. It's not inner child. Okay, so childhood trauma would be trauma from your childhood. Your inner child is your soul part of yourself that's in here. It's your consciousness. So people say, oh, do your inner child healing. The child was not wounded. You were. Jenny was wounded. Does that make sense?
So Jenny's subconscious wounded?
Yeah, so you as a child was wounded, but that's not your inner child. Does that make sense? That's your soul.
Okay. Start quick.
Yeah, so you experienced trauma as a child, as an adult, and probably do during a day, right? People experience trauma all the time, right? So that anxiousness, and you're going to be yawning and purging the rest of the night, right? So your inner child is your soul part of you, which is here to teach you. So if you go in and I say, hey, inner child, go ahead and show me where the first time I felt neglect. It's going to show me. Oh, it's going to take me right to it. Or mind. I say, hey, mind and inner child, take me to that place. So then it shows me where I'm at. And then the inner child is going to say, very childlike, by the way, it's going to say, in my experience of neglect, right? Abandonment, neglect, whatever. I was just sharing earlier about how my 2-year-old self was left in a hospital by herself because my parents had to work. They couldn't afford to take time off work. And so I have an abandonment wound from that. I had an abandonment wound from that. And so when I had a conversation with my 2-year-old self and I said, hey, what did you need to be told? Right? Consciously, your 2-year-old doesn't really know what the hell's going on. She just knows she's alone. Right? I just needed to know that they'd be back. And I just needed, this. And I validated her feelings and emotions at that time and place. Does that make sense? Totally. That's just a fractal of you at that time and space. Does that make sense? Yeah. The spirituality is clumped everything as, oh, your inner child needs healing. Your soul needs healing? No. Right?
Your memories need reprogram.
Exactly. Yeah. Memories.
You're taking you're witnessing the emotional aspect of it, but detaching it from your now self.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sexual abuse is sexual abuse.
Yeah.
That's flat out what it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Someone took a part of you and now you're going to take it back. Yeah. And you're going to alchemize it and make it clean and come back into yourself. Because when someone's sexually abused,
and that's the only way you.
That's right. Yeah. Because even because I
get back in that soul frequency.
Yeah. And call those fractals back to you. So even like when someone when you have an argument and you get really upset, people use the terminology, you let your power go. You gave the power to somebody, right?
Yeah.
And so what happens is that when you gave part of yourself away, a lot of people don't realize that's not yours. So even when we're done here tonight, I'm going to detach and remove and give you all your fractal parts and pieces back to yourself because they're not mine. Right. We're in a little coven here right now, intertwined with places, not just here in Burley, Idaho, but Singapore and, the UK and South Africa and all these places around Texas and all these places around the world that we're all connected in this time, space, and dimension. Right. And so we have to detach ourselves from people. I tell people to cut cords with everybody and anybody, including your spouse. Cut, use some selenite and cut those cords, right? Or ask your guides to remove or denounce, or use St. Germain's violet flame to remove and denounce cords, because you are a sovereign being. You are a fractal of yourself. And when we hold other people's parts and pieces, this is a big lesson for me. This is a shadow I'm actually going through right now, is the shadow of feeling like I have to fix other people and help everybody. So when the room gets chaotic, I feel like I always have to alchemize the energy. And I don't, that's an old ancestral wound as a pagan in my Scottish lineage. I knew exactly it. She took me straight to it. Grandmother, witch, sitting in Scotland doing energy work, clearing frequency, right? And it's a limited belief. I don't need to alchemize anybody's energy but my own. I am responsible for my own stuff. What's outside of me, I have the ability to put a vortex around myself and protect myself because I know I'm a powerful being. Yeah.
This is how I could not.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so how do you heal? So, and I want to emphasize, people say, oh, you can never really heal. You never get finished with your shadow work. While that is correct, it shouldn't be the same shit every single time. Okay. So I don't believe in that. If you believe in that, great, but I do not. I believe once you've cleared out a frequency and you've neutralized it, it does not come back. Okay. Not, at least not in my world. It doesn't come back. Okay. So you release. Sure.
So say there is a like parasite entity that like comes in and brings in the energy of fear, and it does pull you back into that. Like those are aspects of shadow work, right? That's
but you consent to that.
Huh?
All parasite energy frequencies
You
that
consent to.
Oh,
And-
absolutely.
And that's the self that is talking to the not the feminine, dark.
Yeah, the shadow is always on the right, and the
shadows on the right.
Shadows on the right. Higher
And
self is on the left.
Higher self is on the left.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm having a moment. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a good reminder. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you're gonna go ahead and so ways you can heal, you can go by releasing the consciousness of that trauma. You can do hypnosis, you can do inner child validation of emotions, you can do affirmations, you can come from a place of gratitude, like what did that teach me? Which I think is always an excellent way to end shadow work. You can also write a letter to yourself, right? I love that one. My favorite one is a funeral for myself. Writing a letter to yourself, an old version of yourself that you're ready to let go of. Burn it, bury it. My favorite way. Meditate with your little versions of yourself and have a conversation with him or her. You can do mirror work. So mirror work is one of my favorite ways. My favorite way is to be naked in front of a mirror and do mirror work. It's my favorite. Become aware. So just becoming aware of your shadows is actually the first step into shadow work. So like the first time I was like, oh, I am alchemizing everybody's energy around me. Woo! Thank you for that consciousness of awareness. Okay, now I'm going to clear that frequency. Where did that come from? Oh, that's an ancestral line. Okay. Then I came in and now I have to be aware of it, right? So you're conscious to be like, oh, nope, not fixing that today. Not my problem, not my circus, not my monkeys, right? Gonna go ahead and move on out. Okay. Another one is journaling, talking about it to yourself. What did this serve me? What is this giving me? Okay. We do patterns because it's giving you something.
It's a lesson always.
Always a lesson.
Always.
No matter how much people are like, I didn't choose this. I'm like, you can't, you did.
You did. There's like every reaction, like every action has a reaction.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So, so the way I do it is it comes into my awareness and I go, whoa, thank you, Spirit, for showing me this into this awareness. There's a ship right there. And you can see it because the clouds spin. So you can see that's usually a side of a ship is when the clouds are spinning.
Right here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right there.
Yep. That's a ship. There might be two of them actually.
This one like right above the roof. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not normal cloud formations.
Knowledgeable. You know everything.
I'm a channeler. Come on. Channelers know a lot of things. All right.
Wow.
So you're first going to be consciously aware of it. That's step one. 2, process it. So you could do any of the ways I just told you how to process it. My favorite way is I imagine myself in a timeline and I go into that time, space, dimension, and I just kind of look at it and I'm like, oh, yep, there's me, little me in a hospital bed. Hi, little me. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to tell me? And then I go before into a neutral event, which my dad was there playing with me and I was laughing and happy. I turn on the timeline and then I come back and I ask my subconscious to clear all frequencies of that wound out of my system. And when I'm done, please give me confirmation with a yawn, burp, or a sneeze, because I'm not in hypnosis, in trance. And that's when I know I'm done and I'll come back into my body. I channel really easy, so that's not usually how people do it, but that's how I actually do my shadow work.
You feel like you can channel easily because you put a lot of practice into it.
No, I've channeled my whole life.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've been a channeler my whole life. I've seen dead people my whole life. I've seen dead people my whole life.
How did you handle it?
It was, and it was very traumatic.
I actually think that happened to me, and I think I shut it all off.
Yeah, I did too until I was 16 and started seeing full apparitions. Now I know that those they were actually like, they were not people. They were ET contact. Yeah. Yep.
So how do you turn it back on?
Just like you said, turn it back on.
Oh.
You have to
Turning
actually
it
go
back
through the
on.
shadow. You have to go through the shadow of why you turned it off.
I think I had to turn it back. I mean, I do.
I think a lot of it has to do with I mean, I was raised Mormon, and the first time I saw an apparition and I told my mom, she was like, oh, our house is haunted, right? Like,
Right.
instead of like, oh, like if my kids see an apparition, I'm like, how did it make you feel? Did it make you feel scared? Or were you just like, what are you doing in my room? Did it make you nervous? Or was it a good, like, I try to teach my kids, because my kids will channel, what did it make you feel like? Right? So Bentley gets psychically attacked often. So he gets scratches on his chest. So his is psychically attacked, but he's still consenting to that energy, right? So I have to remove frequencies. I clear my house all the freaking time. But Ava doesn't get psychically attacked. So it's conscious. It's consciousness. And I tell them all the time, you choose your reality. If you don't like people in your room, you kick them out. You have the tools. He's 12. He can make those choices. When he was 6, I did it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, he's 12. He can do it. I clear the energy in this house all the time. And then no one gets in this house without me knowing. As soon as they come in, I'm like, what are you doing in here? What are you doing in here? And they're like, I'm like, yeah, you squirmy little thing, get out. Bye, Felicia. Ancestors, go ahead and take them to the light. I'm like, yeah, so yeah. But yeah, no one gets in here. It's taken practice of like being like scanning, like I'm scanning my house, going through it. I'm consciously going through and doing the work. It's not like I just wake up and I'm like, I do feel it. I do feel it now, but I've done it enough scanning in my house. I know the frequency of what my house feels like when there's nothing in it. And as soon as something comes in, it comes into my mind's eye.
Yeah, like immediately. I feel it in my body.
Yeah, I just was like, oh, what are you doing in here?
Yep.
Yeah, I had one last week. And they were like, nothing. And they were like being squirmy. And I'm like, that's weird. It was actually a past life incarnation they wanted to remind me of, but he was squirmy. Okay, so the next thing is, how do you know you have shadow work to do? And it is always triggers. So if you get an emotional reaction to anything, that is a shadow aspect of yourself. So I'm going to tell you a story. My lovely neighbor across the street is a pastor, and he decided to tell his entire congregation that I hexed him and that I'm a witch, and I hexed his church. And also Ben proceeds to tell them that he came over and apologized to me and my husband. It's so funny. The reason I talk about it is because like some people would like be pissed off if someone called them like a crazy. I was like, wow, I'm so glad I have so much power in your life. Yeah. But 2 years ago, that would have infuriated me. The word witch would have pissed me off. Okay. But I've embodied the word witch. I just love it. I'm like, yes, please call me a witch. And I love that I have so much power over you and your house and all the things.
Remember when I called you and I was like, Michelle,
do you want geese feet?
officially owned the fact that I'm a witch.
Oh yeah, I
She's like,
remember that too.
well, about damn time. Fucking congratulations. Thank you. It's so
Yeah.
good. But it's empowering when you realize, like,
Yeah, the
you
witch
are
moon's fun.
magic.
Yeah. Oh, I am fucking
Yeah,
magical.
you're total magic and whatever.
Yeah.
If people think you have that much power, let them think that.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I think we should have never read something like that.
I know. Now I wish I would have, because I would have just, he would have squealed.
We talked about it for a year.
He's like, she hexed my
We wanted to
house.
make it, so one of us, was it you that found the
Dandelions.
Yeah,
We just want to take
dandelions
dandelions and tie them together and throw them on our lawn.
This big, but I was like, we just need to go throw them in his lawn. Michelle was just walk at her and be like,
Oh yeah, just
make
toss
them
them
big.
on there.
we don't need to do anything. Just like,
Just
Yeah.
weave a flower.
Yeah.
together.
No, he
Yeah.
would have totally lost his shit. It'd have been great.
dang it, we'll miss her. So you just had this paranoia he projected onto you?
Well, he didn't project it. It's just, I know people that go to that church and he never said, he just said neighbor lady that's a witch. I'm the only one not
There's
Mormon on the
nobody.
street.
Yeah, it's like when somebody says that, you're like, oh, they're talking about Michelle.
Yeah, the lady who speaks crazy language. I love that one.
I know, I love it. I love your life.
Light languages?
Anytime someone's like, it makes
What?
me so little.
No. So then triggers, so anything of a trigger. So obviously that didn't trigger me. Like I laughed. I was like, I'm still like, the next day I saw him and he looked straight at me and I'm like,
You did that.
oh, totally. And he's like, he's all,
Dude, if I don't like make
It was
someone
great.
at least somewhat uncomfortable every day.
well, I just had to.
love
Like he knew I knew. And I even did a post on social. I was like, first of all, it was great. I was like,
Love it.
and it got back to him and he didn't even post that video of his sermon on his
On his, that's funny, and he normally posts it.
yeah, every week is a new sermon. It was great. I loved it so much. But it wasn't an emotional response. That's what I was trying to say is
That's how you know you cleared it from your shadow.
yeah, is it no longer is an emotional response. Like you laugh about it. It's the
Mhm.
opposite, right? It's the light part of it. It's like, oh, it's thank you for calling me a witch. And I'm thank you for having so much power in your life.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and give me my fractals back. Right? Like whatever. So that's how you know it's gone is because there's no emotional response at all. And then it's like the game gets stepped up and every time there's an emotional response to anything, that's a shadow aspect of yourself. Okay. Emotions are not a bad thing. Let's just like reiterate that. Like emotions are not a bad thing. You can have an emotion. You know, if you felt unsafe in a situation, you know, it's really important that we allow ourselves to have emotion because your body stores that. It keeps score. So when you have like, I have had situations where there has been men and I was like, oh, I do not feel safe in this space, but I have to be in this space. So I have an escape route. Like I talk myself into it. I'm like, okay, if this happens, I'm going to go here. Right. And I know that I'm nervous because I can feel the frequency. That is different when you don't feel safe because your intuition is like, get the fuck, right? That's your intuition.
Yeah.
Okay. That's like your body is feeling that fight or flight response.
Dude, it's like spidey senses.
Oh
when
yeah.
that kicks in. I've had that like bartending and shit.
Yeah.
Like at night.
Yeah. Like I'm like, someone's watching me. My eye starts twitching. Why are you watching? Or if I've been like in a store and someone follows me, I always am like very vocal about it. It's like, good thing I have Birkenstocks and I grew up with brothers because I could karate chop your ass. Because I can feel the energy when people are like watching me. So so there's a difference. That is not a shadow aspect of yourself. When you feel your body is like, that's you should be knowing you don't feel safe in that situation. That makes sense? So I always tell people, go places that you feel warm. And obviously like you can't, you're in a store grocery shopping. You're just like, I'm aware, hey body, I am aware that I don't feel safe right now. Like validate the feelings of the body, right? Go home, scream it out, shake it out, move your body, get it out of your body, right? Okay, so that's different. Okay, just so that we're aware. Patterns can also be different. You can clear them out though, just like a shadow. So you can go into the pattern, you're noticing a loop, right? The same thing every day. You're like, oh, there it is. That's a pattern. So patterns, same thing. Go to ask the mind, say, hey, mind, when was the first time I experienced this? Mind should take you to the event. and then you can neutralize it. Okay, what did I learn from it? What is this teaching me? Why am I doing this? Okay, now I'm going to be aware of it. I'm consciously aware of it. Now here's the integration part. Integration part is when you experience that pattern again, you make a different choice. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So you flip the system. I call it hijacking the matrix. You make a different choice. Okay. So that is how you change out of a loop. And the thing is too, is another one of my favorite tools to do is if I'm experiencing a pattern over and over again, I will ask my higher self, what are you teaching me? And implement, and then I say, activate that learning into my system right now. Ooh, I just got lightheaded saying that. Activate that learning into my frequency right now. Okay. Because when you activate those, yep. Because what you're going to do is you're going to take that code and all the codings that come with it. I usually get a light language because that's how I code myself, and I bring in those frequencies. Same thing with we talked about this before. If you see synchronicity of numbers 222, 1111, 1010, 1234, those are matrix codes. That's how the matrix communicates with us, is with a sequence of numbers and letters. So you say, I activate those frequencies, I activate those codes, and it starts to change your system. I don't hardly ever see angelic numbers anymore, like 1111 or anything like that. They're like 1221 on my speedometer, or numbers. It's usually bigger frequencies because it's almost like you graduate from those frequencies.
So if I see those consistently throughout the day, every day.
Yeah.
So that's what I should be saying. So
Yeah.
that way, because it's I want you to acknowledge me now. Acknowledge me so we can bump up a step.
That's right. Yeah. Your guides are like 1111. You're like, yeah.
And the flares of light off the water.
Mhm.
I was like, Michelle would be so proud. I activate these light codes of light and water.
Yeah, because it's color.
It was like,
yeah, and then you can also say,
it was amazing.
so you can activate those frequencies or those codes, right? And then you can say, hey, spirit, amplify these frequencies by 40,000.
Oh, yes, I love
and
it.
it was like, it's like so much energy in your system.
Wow.
So start small. Yeah, amplify these codes by 10,000. Start with 10,000. See how your system does.
Infinite.
Shit out of me now. So I want you guys to all look at the clouds and look how many ships we have now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a pretty good size one right there too. Yeah, so cool.
You're bringing them in.
Oh yeah, well I invited them in. Yeah.
The spiral ones, are they light too?
Yeah.
They're lighter right
Yep.
now.
Yep.
So what do you think he's?
Oh, I invited them in the container. They're Procyons.
Procyon.
Yeah, Procyon beings. They're little ETs. And I said, and then I also have, so the first time I experience anything, I always say, take me back to the first time, and then I connect with that frequency. I also ask to validate the emotion. I validate my timeline, and I also ask for the learning. The learning, I work really quickly. So some people like to write down what they learned so they can read that for the next couple of days. And anytime that pattern comes up, they're like, but I learned, right? So you can go back to those. That's really where journal work works really well. I am not a journal work person personally. I am. Yeah, you do painting, you do codes, whatever. I usually write light language, and I write number sequencings. For me, that's what I do for my learning integration. And then I say, does this pattern still serve me? Have I finished? Am I ready to learn this? And sometimes the answer is no. You haven't learned the lesson yet. So sometimes you have to stay in the loop for a little bit. But 95% of the time it should be yes. Because if you become consciously aware of something, you should be able to clear it out. Okay. I think personally, but I've had some people, they're like, every time I see them in a session, I'm like, oh, there's your entity back. You are not ready to let that little bitch go. Right. Hey, there it is.
Yeah.
They're like, I think I still have this fear spirit on me. I'm like, yeah, because you still consented to it. Yeah. So it doesn't matter how powerful of a healer you are, or If you have not learned that lesson, it will come back. Okay. And the last one is I always ask where the aggressive markers are. So I want everyone to close their eyes. We're going to do this exercise. And road opener, go ahead and open up the frequency gates and show me which gates are closed. Anyone who is listening to this or who is here right now. Open up gates 1, 2, and 3. Unlock, double lock. Take a deep breath, everybody. We also open up gates 7, 9, 11, 12, 15, 19, and 24. Take a deep breath. Hey, road opener, open up those circuits even further. Spark spirits, go ahead and open them up even further. Whew. Woo, so much energy. Spark spirits, go ahead and connect to the galactic star of everyone that's listening to this and that is in this space. Go ahead and bring in the illuminating white light in through everybody's system to remove any and all aggressive markers out of their system. Right now, we denounce these frequencies. Everyone put their hands up in a receivership mode. No, like this. There you go. Good. Spark spirits, go ahead and show everybody in their fingertips your frequency. Nod your head when you can feel it. Amplify those frequencies. Amplify them again. Turn up the frequency in their ears, turning the volume up so people can hear the frequency even louder. Go ahead and amplify the frequency again, spark spirits. Good, take a deep breath, everybody. Go ahead and put those spark spirit energy into your heart. Go ahead and take the spark spirit energy and touch your heart. Good, take a deep breath. I want you to tell yourself 3 things you're grateful for right now in this time, space, and dimension in your mind. How is everybody feeling? Intrigued. I love it.
I feel so good. What was wild was when you amplified the sound, like it was like a high pitched like Tibetan bowl, like
That's how I
still
always
am,
know.
like, I'm still like hearing it. Dude, I'm not even kidding. Like it is hard, like on this side. And
Okay.
I'm hearing it.
You're not hearing it on the left side.
Not as hard.
Okay. Hey, spirit.
Hey, spirit.
Spark spirits, go ahead and open up Kylie's frequency in her left ear. Are there any gates closed on her left side? Oh, yes. Gate 3, go ahead and open. Now amplify the frequency. Spark spirits, go ahead and clear out any density in the left ear. Good. Take a deep breath, Kylie. How do you feel now?
I can hear it a lot better. And
All right.
it's, I feel like blood flow.
Yeah.
A lot more blood flow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like both my ears hurt.
Okay, let me go ahead and channel your gates really quick. Okay, go ahead and open, hey, Spark Spirits, go ahead and open frequencies in 2 and 3 out of in Jenny's top gates. Unlock both double locks. Road opener, go ahead and amplify her frequency in her sight and her ears. Usia naraya kuya kia. Good. How do they feel now? Yeah. Yeah. Gates are interesting. So gates run this way and this way. Okay. Gates 1 through 3 are the top half of like top 2 of your head, and all the rest of the gates. Some people have 18 gates, sometimes have 24 gates. You
Does this have to do with human design?
no,
No, it's different.
it's different. Anyways, you can open up, these are frequency gates.
I feel like when you were saying that in my mind, I could just see it was kind of like when on Harry Potter #1, when he's going into the safe and the goblin takes his finger and like this, and then you see on the back.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know. And then when you said something about seeing the inner star, it was like reverse magnolia flower bursted inside of myself on a bunch of rainbow colors.
Oh, I love that.
That's what I see.
That's dope. That was really cool.
That's what I felt.
I love that. I love that.
You.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
You're looking at me.
No,
I felt
yeah.
my fingertip.
Oh, I
Felt
love
something.
that.
Dude,
love
I
that.
felt like a
Not at first, not at
So
first. but when you
spark
started
spirits,
turning them up.
that's
I guess.
okay. Spark spirits are really fun to work with. They just work with energetic frequencies. You can work with spark spirits with a lot of ways, so they're fun to work with.
Do you feel like you can be more sensitive to spark spirits, maybe like the more aware you are, or like the more time you work with them, or do you think it could just
No, I haven't had anyone not be able to feel frequency.
No, I know, but like maybe
Like
your
in your hands?
frequency gets so how she said she didn't feel it at first, and then when you amplified it, she could then start
Oh,
to
yeah.
feel it.
Yeah.
But then maybe like if I felt it at first, and you said amplify it by 10, maybe my amplified by 10 is different than her amplified by 10.
100%. Yeah, because your frequencies are different. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So, any questions on shadow work?
I love it.
Yeah, I need to process that again.
Process what?
Just understanding all of it. Like, I want to hear your aha about it.
What?
When
What
you're like
aha?
having a moment, what was the moment? What did you learn? What did you figure out?
Like which moment?
When
Which moment?
she
Like
was
I'd
talking
like
about
to-
shadow work in your child. Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so true. Like, and also like I did have. I'm not saying like my ayahuasca experience. You know, I had those moments, but also like, and I did have those moments for that. But there's also so many other moments that ayahuasca didn't address that I went with the intent for. But I don't know, like Michelle's integration.
Mhm. Yeah, you did a session, I think, what, like 2 months after?
Yeah.
Mhm.
2 months after.
Yeah.
And it was like super helpful and integrative. Like it helped me move forward through because she worked with my subconscious mind
Mhm.
and like cleared things out.
Mhm. Which plant medicine should do that.
It should do that, but it like I said, it was something was just a little off.
Mhm. Well, you have to have really clean people that are working
Yeah,
and
and the
facilitating.
energetics, and it was a
Mhm.
beautiful experience, and I really did have a great experience. But I was aware of the certain frequencies that were being manipulated around the room with ill intent.
Mhm.
Like
Which
right
makes you
from the
not safe.
moment, yeah, which makes me not safe.
Mhm.
And so, like, even in the experience with plant medicine, I wasn't able to go to the depth that I was hoping to get all of that other stuff addressed with. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It took me the third night to get to that because I started getting more comfortable around. I don't know. It was interesting, but yeah. But the inner child, absolutely, like it's all a story.
It's always a
All
story.
a story behind emotion.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
if you don't have the emotional depth for yourself, you won't ever feel it.
Mhm.
And to have that emotional depth is to sit there with that little self.
Yeah.
And witness and honor it.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, especially for me, like with all the shit I went through growing up and being sick as fuck all the time. Now I'm an adult and I'm fine.
Mhm.
And to realize the betrayal I felt, people poisoning me and making me fucking sick. but yet my family didn't know it. They were doing everything they thought they could do to keep me well.
Mhm. Yep.
You know, so like sitting with that, and I feel like I had those moments in ayahuasca with that, but I feel like Michelle blasted through those doors, and then even into other aspects of like my teens and things. Like I've just been able to hold more emotional depth with myself since doing hypnosis and doing subconscious mind. It's like life is so much like,
Yeah, and you've only had what,
Right.
like 4 sessions?
it's just life is bright. I'm out of that like shithole depth of like, oh, this is, this is going on, this is going on. And it's because I'm allowing.
Mhm.
When you don't allow it anymore,
Yeah, you hold a
you
frequency.
hold the frequency. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's all frequency.
Mhm.
And it's been so, yeah.
And the only reason, like, I've heard people say, like, oh, I feel like I walk on eggshells with you. And I'm like, well, that's your problem.
Yeah, it's your perception. It is. It's absolutely.
I just
it's
have
your
boundaries, and
projection.
I'm just going to keep my children safe. And that may seem like eggshells to you because you are offended by my safety of my expectations of how I want.
It's
I
your
don't want,
personal boundaries.
I don't
Your-
want chaos. I don't want my children to experience trauma and screaming and yelling and not feeling safe, because I did experience that as a child. So yes, I am aware that I have boundaries, but you know what? I don't really care if you don't like it. I'm happy to go home. I'll drive 2 hours to go back home. I'm talking about family. My family
Yeah.
lives 2 hours away. So they know, like, I've literally showed up in Rigby and left 15 minutes later. Drove 2.5 hours to my parents. My aunt screamed at my son for dumping out the the little log blocks. What are they called? Lincoln logs. Screamed at him. He was like 9 years old. She's like, oh my gosh, you're not gonna do this. And I was like, we're out.
What do you do when you feel like you're outgrowing your family? Literally. Like, I mean,
An attachment. That's the shitty part.
So I have felt that a few times in my marriage where I have felt like I was outgrowing my family. So I have a conversation with spirit, like, spirit, show me what is the purpose of this relationship. I feel like I'm dragging. So I have felt that often in my marriage, in my awakening, where I'm like Linus in his blanket, right? Like dragging this human being behind me. Okay. So then I asked spirit, you need to show me, or he needs to upgrade. And then he'll go through this whole like experience. Like as soon as I said that, he went through a whole faith crisis.
I'll tell you what, that has been so impactful for even just me and my
Yeah.
like learning these tools.
Yeah.
Of like in communicating. Because like I went through so much like religion, emotional,
Mhm.
Experiences with that. Like I don't even look at it as trauma now. Like it was an experience and I'm done with that experience, right?
Mhm. I don't consent to it
Yeah, I
anymore.
don't consent to it anymore, like whatever. But like it's helped so much with like
Mhm.
letting go of attachments that you even put on your spouse, because if you just ask for spirit to upgrade,
Yeah. Either you're going to be like, I got to get the fuck out of here,
they
or you're,
and you'll know.
And you'll
Like,
know.
spirit will let you know if it's like
yeah, ask
something at
Trish.
level
She
up.
broke her foot.
Yeah, and you know immediately. You know
that's like
immediately.
self-work. I was like, what the fuck is happening? I have done so much work and this is getting worse. Worse. And then I broke my
It's
foot.
because spirit has your back.
Yeah.
Spirit has your back. And look at everything that you've witnessed.
Oh yeah.
After all of it unfolded.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
Broke her foot.
Mhm.
Spirit's like, oh, you're going to leave? Let's break your foot.
I had a plan to leave like a month later. It really wasn't that good. It was less traumatic.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about family. Like I have set that boundary now. I don't take any shit. Like as soon as my mom starts acting up, I tell her,
Yeah,
I'm like, I will
hang up.
fucking fly home. Like I was like, I will go sleep at my friend's house the rest of the whole week that I'm here. I don't give a shit.
Mhm.
And I did it one time. I didn't hug her when she dropped me off at the airport. She was so upset and pissed. And I was like, I don't want you to touch me. I don't want anything from you. I just want to leave this
Mhm.
situation.
Mhm.
And the older I've gotten,
You
the
have to
more
set
I've
those
done
boundaries
that.
though
I've done
for
that.
yourself. And it's
Holy
and it's
shit,
not
do
even
I
a
not hear
boundary.
the end of it?
That's self-love,
Oh,
in my
boy.
opinion. That's self-love, in my opinion.
Well, I just
to
think that I'm too,
remove yourself if you
I'm-
have to.
I haven't lived in the house for 8 years. I'm not gonna deal with that shit. And I tell her that all the time. I'm like, I'm not gonna deal with this. I was like, I had to deal with it when I was 16 and 17, and I left when I was 18 to go to the
Yeah.
military, and I haven't lived at home since. I only come back once in a while.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I hear it all the time, and sometimes it's really hard.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hug her. She's like, give me a hug. No, don't fucking touch me.
Mhm.
Don't fucking touch me. I want to go home. I'm done with this conversation. I'm done with this energy this whole week. I just want to go. But man, oh man.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, I try to set a boundary and holy shit, it's the whole world falling apart.
That's because she's never experienced a boundary before.
That's how I do that with my mom and sister.
Yeah.
And it's really,
I had to do
Better.
that with
My
my
sister
mom
does.
for a while.
it's
too.
really hard because,
And
you
she
know, my
got the
dad
hint, though.
died, so
Don't
it's
get the
just me
hint.
and my sister and my mom, so I kind of feel like I'm indebted. And
But you wouldn't be experiencing the reality that you're experiencing if you didn't have lessons to learn.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's lessons.
Yeah.
They're better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I came face to face with them in Poland. The way I act to my mom is the way that she acts to her mom.
Mhm.
Oh my God. I saw myself in my mom and I was like, oh no.
Thank you,
I
conscious.
think that's like in a situation like that, you say that that's like a generational shadow that maybe you have to heal for yourself
Yeah.
and for
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. She is
Yeah.
right now. She's
Yeah.
the one that's bringing that change because she's not
Right.
condoning to.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is too, is like boundaries are not created. I said this in the beginning of the thing. Boundaries are not created to eliminate a trigger.
Can you say that again?
Boundaries are not created to eliminate a trigger. Boundaries are created to keep safety. There is a difference.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if you're getting triggered by something and you're like, they're not respecting my boundaries, it's like, oh, then there's something here to learn. Right? Because you should actually, my coach believes you shouldn't even have to set up a boundary with somebody if you hold a frequency. That's what she believes. That's what Shaman Dirk teaches. You shouldn't even have to set up a boundary if you hold a frequency.
I feel like it all
I
goes out
believe
the
that.
window though. Like as soon as it
Around
comes to my
family.
mom, yeah, family, just all family. But I feel like it all
That's
goes out the
because that's a
window.
codependent, shadowy aspect that you feel like you have to fix something like that. It's like,
Oh.
what did it for me was I actually went through and asked my guides. I actually did a hypnotherapy specifically to cut energetic ties with my mother. And it showed me she actually had bought me as a slave, and I was a sex slave to her in a past life incarnation. So there was a lot of karmic debt there that was like, it was really rough. I was like, ah, and it was like there was so much shit to it. And as soon as I cleared that out, all that karmic debt, I cut, cleared. No, I will never have another incarnation with her again. I am done, right? I actually have a better relationship with my mom
Because of that.
because I cleared out the karmic frequency. So she's not feeling that repellent energy every time. I could feel it as a child. Like I could go back and be like, I can feel my mother repel me. I could feel it. Right. And so I started to shut that off, right? Because I could feel that repellent. And I'm like, she's my mother. She's supposed to like me. This is what mothers do. This is a mother's love, right? So I knew what that repellent energy felt like. So now that I've cleared out that karmic frequency, I don't feel that repellent energy, but I'm very guarded with her. Does that make sense? I know I can't tell her stuff because she'll blab her mouth. I know what she's like, and I've accepted that's who she is. This is who she is. I get to be who I am, and she can either accept that or she doesn't. But I don't have to even say anything to her. She knows if she says stupid shit, she gets stupid prizes. That's how that works. Like she literally,
But I feel like my mom has already felt that. Like there's no reason why I don't tell her shit because she uses it against me.
okay, so there's manipulation.
Like past
Yeah.
relationships and why they didn't work out. As soon as something in my life doesn't work out, that's why it didn't work out with your ex. That's why it didn't. So
And
I
does
don't
it
tell her
trigger you?
anything. Yes, it does.
Yes,
Yes, it does.
yes. There's the
And my
shadow.
mom is a huge trigger. Like I said, her.
And you're from Poland?
Well, my mom is.
Oh,
On my
okay.
mom's whole side, yeah, I was born
Okay.
here. But no, like my grandma treated my mom the same way. I think there's 5 kids, and my mom was the one who's. My grandma treats her like shit. Like she's like the worst child out of all of them. No matter what she does, it's never good enough. That's exactly the same way I feel with my mom. And I don't know if that happened with my grandma with her mom as well. I'm having the feeling that it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom's a huge trigger.
I used to be there. I've been there.
And like I said, ever since my dad died, it got worse just because I have that guilt.
Mhm.
I have that guilt that I have to stay around and I can't go no contact. I can't do that any of that because
So that would
we
be
have
that,
left.
it would be that guilt wound. So you'll have to
Yeah.
look through that shadowy aspect of guilt.
I know as soon as you started reading that stuff, I was like,
You're like, bingo.
Nail on the head.
Yahtzee.
Yeah,
That's
all of them.
me. That's me. That's
I
me.
feel attacked.
I'm so
Yeah, I felt
attacked.
seriously attacked. I'm aware. I'm aware.
Hey, that's the
Good.
first step. That's the first step. The thing is for me, like shadow work has always just been something that I'm like, oh, I don't really like that. I'm gonna clear that out. We're just gonna get rid of that today. We're just gonna sit with myself, cry it out, scream it out, yell it out, whatever needs to be done, and I'm done with that shit. And we're moving on.
I wish I could do that.
And
I mean, I
moving on.
can.
You absolutely can.
Holy crap, do I hold on to things?
Yeah, because you've chosen to.
But then you have to ask spirits to take it, like you got to feel it, process it, and then ask it to send it to the light.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah, it's like the fear removal
transmute it,
process.
alchemize it.
Mhm. And the great way to alchemize something is I use a Merkaba quite often. I use sacred geometry often. You can take it and like put it in a Merkaba and spin it. You can use guide away from you. You could ask your ancestors to take it to the light and transmute it. That's why I love the fear process. I taught that in happiness codes where you go through and you send something to the light. And then what I did with you, like, hey, send us to the light. Now, what is your truth? And if it is not a code from God, it is not truth. And we are actually not here to hold any density. We are fractals of God. We are fractals of source, universe, whatever you believe in. Don't worry, I don't believe in a white God upstairs. And if you do, great, but I don't. But I take that energy and I send it to source, right? To the energetic frequency that created my consciousness that I'm a fractal of.
Yeah, I've learned that God is not just that one being.
Yeah, I don't believe that. We
No,
have people
a
in
lot
here
of
that do
highly,
though.
but through just yoga in general,
Yeah,
like God is
yeah.
not God. It could be
Yeah.
any God. It
Yeah.
could be anything that you think is God.
Yeah,
Consciousness.
conscious.
Spirituality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's consciousness. Yeah, exactly. You're a fractal of source. You are God. So you can send it to light and then ask for your guides or ancestors to give you that, or that new being of light. You can have now tell you what the truth is. Yeah. And if the truth is like still negative, you're like, and there's another one. Go ahead and go to source. Yeah. So
Take a little bit.
yeah. So I'm gonna pause for a minute before we do the activation. If you need to go potty or whatever you need to do, I'm gonna pause this really quick. All righty, we're gonna go ahead and start the activation. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the ancient truth. We welcome in the Procyon beings as they circle around us. Connection with their hands and are locked as they go around. You can feel a frequency definitely in the head and also the throat and the heart. Now, if the frequency is any resistance or density, that's just take a deep breath. And if you feel any pain in your body, go ahead and take a nice deep breath and go ahead and release it. This is really common with activations of light codes. Whew. Procyon beings want to relay a message. We welcome you with light. We bring in frequency of red and yellow codes directly into your heart. We are opening up your heart chakra at this time, bringing in more frequencies of gratitude and light and love. Take a deep breath. Anytime in a activation, you need to consider consent, yes. So when I do an activation, you're going to just say yes if you consent. If you don't, go ahead and say no. You will not receive the activation. Ipuyo haya karai supuna harai supuria te kisikia moya isikira mora shiko shuhonara sikira tokoya sayonara ya pekiara tukura shakora. They are removing the density from heartache, loss in your heart. Shukura mara sikira tukuya mora da kara shukuru shia ora kuya mora hiara tikia supuna shukura shia. You're also removing any density out of the mid back. This can feel like a knife pulling out rods, any implants that are on the back of your back. There's also some third eye energy that's coming in as well. Ponto anara sukumoro shikira shikunoro shikiamoya kia asa ano okora shahia sikira tokora bokara shukura shiana barakatuko. Sikira tekira ano oya. Sikia moya kisikia ara shukuria kia nare te kio mora sikia. They're bringing in beautiful activations of heart and also connecting with your solar plexus, of that intuition, of learning to really trust that intuition, really bringing in this frequency of trusting in yourself, trusting in God, trusting in your guides, bringing in that activation, amplifying that frequency. We also are bringing in lots of energy frequency in the sacral as well, as you're bringing in this creative energy, starting with this beautiful summer solstice is coming in 20 days. We're bringing in lots of sun codes. They also want to bring in beautiful, harmonious of yin and yang energy as well. Esseraro shure barakuro shikunanara karayatekiara arakia mora sekia kuku yakiara toko akakaya kuku kushikira tokora shikora shikira tokura doro emara kakakakaya kuku. Okay, they're going to go ahead and remove and cut all energetic ties of wounds connected to the heart space. Take a deep breath. Aya kakakakaya kukoshikira bukura kakakakaya sukutibitara toku shikara tokushi marotikia sikira toku nananaya takaya suku aya marashu rushu marakura. Take a deep breath. Turn around, find some light codes with the sound frequency of the force. Kushu Naraya Sikia. Asakayo ya Semora Tukurasia. Kusukura Sekiro Raya More. Eko Sharayara. Ore Kuraya Sekiro Morea Sikia. Kirara Marata Sakara Dukura. Sakura Sakara Namakaya. Ushiamore. Ekea. Rushu. Shukura Evoya. Ekeore Meare. Kure Kisia. Ikioro da Carete. Chiamore. Kukuya Maraya. Kukuya Kiara Takara Suku Maraya Kisia. Ikio Moraya Kara Shukuri Pukura Sekirona. Deep breath. Coming back into this time, space, and dimension. Coming back into your body. Moving your hands and your feet. Taking a nice deep breath. We're in such great gratitude today with Spirit showing up, the Procyon beings, and also the Fae. We bring in these frequencies and we take them with honor. We're grateful for the light that came in today and the dark aspects of ourselves. And we may learn that our darkness teaches us. We're thankful for this beautiful experience of light and harmony that was taught, and also the truth and understanding. We activate these frequencies that were just brought in by the Procyon beings and the Fae, and we integrate them into our cells and our DNA sequencing. We bring in these activations with softness and ease and love and harmony and flow and ease. We are in gratitude today from our angelic beings and also our guides and our ancestors who assist us on a daily basis. We are in much gratitude and love from you. We know that your direction in our life is needed, and we thank you with much appreciation. At this time, we close this container and we unhook and remove, and we go back and give everybody back their fractals, parts, and pieces. We thank Spirit, we thank Source, we thank all energies that were here tonight that served us in this love and healing space. This container is closed, and so it is. Thank you.